You know, judges are supposed to avoid even the slightest appearance of a conflict. So why did the Macomb County judge who ruled in favor of Warren Mayor Jim Fouts in a recent term limits fight not disclose that his wife's nonprofit had recently done business with the city? And that's not the only concern city council members are raising about this transaction with the taxpayers. 7 investigator Heather Catallo has more.
It's no secret much of Warren's city council and Warren's mayor can't stand each other. They take each other to court a lot. And it's one recent court case in front of a local judge that has some members of the city council crying foul.
And I respect Judge Toya.
Warren Mayor Jim Fouts has spent a lot of time lately praising Macomb County Circuit Court Judge Joseph Toya.
The judge, I thought, did a good job.
Judge Toya is a well-respected circuit court judge.
Back in March, Judge Toya ruled that Fouts could be put on the ballot for re-election, even though the city's charter now has term limit rules that were put in place by Warren's voters in 2020.
I do believe that Judge Toya got it right. I was in the audience.
The Michigan Court of Appeals later unanimously overturned Judge Toya's ruling, and the state Supreme Court refused to hear the case. That means Fouts cannot run for mayor again. At a recent press conference, Fouts not only suggested without proof the state's highest courts were swayed by special treatment.
I know of examples where judges go out and get wined and dined by a certain law firm. I think that's wrong.
He also complimented the lower court judge who ruled in his favor at least 7 times during his speech.
Everybody I talked to said the opinion by Judge Toya is solid.
Why does that matter? Some Warren City Council members say it matters a lot because of the sale of this house for $1. That transaction involved members of the Fouts administration and a nonprofit run by Judge Toya's wife, Teresa. Does this appear to be a conflict?
It appears to be the classic case of a conflict.
Warren City Council President Patrick Green, who's also running for mayor, says he had no idea the people behind this house deal had a potential conflict with a recent crucial court case for the city, until a city employee brought it to the council's attention this spring. The sale of the home has also upset neighbors.
I've been asking to buy it because it's been empty, and now that I know that they bought it for $1, kind of makes me mad.
I sorted through more than 1,000 documents, including purchase agreements, deeds, and city emails, to try to understand what happened here. Here's how the home ended up getting flipped for profit for a nonprofit. Back in 2019, after a tax foreclosure, the city of Warren bought this home on Dodge Avenue along with dozens of others from Macomb County. Then, in March of 2020, records show the Warren City Council was presented with a purchase agreement and other documents signed by Mayor Fouts and members of his law department. Like other charities have done in the past, Teresa Toya's nonprofit that helps foster children wanted to buy the house on Dodge for $1, even though it was valued at more than $43,000. As part of the deal that council approved, language in the purchase agreement that said the property, after renovated to code, will be used and occupied for purposes of mentoring up to 4 young adults aged out of the state foster care program.
The way the law works is we're only allowed to sell something for its market value, whatever that may be. To do it for less than that, we have to define a public purpose.
But instead of housing aged-out foster youth, city records show Toya and Chief Assistant City Attorney Mary Michaels made changes to the purchase agreement so her nonprofit could sell the home. Michaels denies any wrongdoing, but Green says that change needed to be approved by the city council, and it wasn't.
That's a change of a contract, and it eliminated the public purpose. It eliminated our ability to sell it for $1.
The charity rehabbed the house, and on March 13th of this year, records show Teresa Toya's nonprofit sold the home for $95,000. Exactly 1 week later, her husband, Judge Toya, heard the case involving Mayor Fouts' attempts to run for a 5th term in office.
The timing is almost like a movie. At the minimum, he should have recused himself.
You would have to analyze whether the spouse's interest could improperly, under the facts of the matter, impact the impartiality of the judge in question.
University of Detroit Mercy law professor Larry Dubin is a legal ethics expert.
With a judge, it doesn't require an actual conflict. It requires the appearance of a conflict.
In another recent case between the city council and the Fouts administration, two different Macomb County Circuit Court judges recused themselves from the case to avoid the appearance of impropriety.
Hi, Teresa. It's Heather Catallo from Channel 7 calling.
During our phone call, Teresa Toya denied any wrongdoing and said the sale of the house benefited foster children. Mrs. Toya and Judge Toya would not talk to the 7 investigators on camera, but she did grant an interview to Warren's public TV station just days before her husband heard the Fouts court case. Used in that story, these photographs taken with Mayor Fouts in the fall. City records reveal Judge Toya was there when these photos with the mayor were taken. The 7 investigators have also obtained an email from February of 2020 sent from Warren Economic Development Director Tom Bomarito to a personal email registered to the judge with the state bar. Records show Bomarito sent the judge city documents about the house deal. Documents obtained by the 7 investigators also show Bomarito pitching commercial space options to Teresa Toya's charity just a day after her husband ruled in Fouts' favor. At the time, Toya was making public pleas to help her charity find a new space after their lease suddenly ended. Bomarito would not talk to us on camera. Meanwhile, neighbors say they don't trust the whole transaction.
That's not right. That's not right. There's all of us people around here are trying to do it the way we're supposed to.
Warren Mayor Jim Fouts did not respond to our questions about his connections to Judge Toya, but he did send us this statement where he criticized the city council's attorney, saying, quote, "This is a retaliatory investigation pushed by Jeff Schroeder of Plunkett Cooney and the Warren City Council because Judge Toya ruled on the fact that the term limit ballot question was not clear, as is the past precedent of the state Supreme Court. Judge Toya and City Attorney Mary Michaels are well respected. Instead of an unfair attack on Judge Toya, Channel 7 should be investigating why the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court did not take up oral arguments and rule on why the ballot proposal was legal when its language was not clear." I'm Heather Catallo, 7 Action News.